Some conversations are just stupid to have. Liverpool is never going to get relegated. Chelsea is never going to get relegated. Arsenal is never going to get relegated. Real Madrid is never going to get relegated. Bayern Munich is never going to get relegated. Manchester United can get relegated. Unfortunately for them, a team which finished 15th in the Premier League last season, teams in that position don't think about finishing top 4. They think about how to avoid the drop. I, for one, am of the firm belief that Manchester United's board is absolutely their owners are absolutely and they don't have a clue what to do. And teams which have no clue what to do, even with their resources, can get worse. And because of that, Manchester United can get relegated this season. If I told you that a team last season, in the last 29 games, got 28 points, and this season lost to a fourth tier team in a cup, you would say that they are most likely going to get relegated. Now, because you know that team is Manchester United, you'll say, nah, that's not a possibility. But they played 3 games this season. Arsenal was a write off. They were never going to win that game against Corner FC. Fulham, they should have beaten Fulham. They have done no business this transfer window and are looking like a team which possibly might finish bottom half this season. So Manchester United, with their aspirations, should beat Fulham. Then finally we have Burnley. Burnley is going to get relegated this season. That's a foregone conclusion. And for Manchester United to win against Burnley in the fashion that they did, it is an embarrassment. They won from a last minute penalty kick. And it's not like they kept a clean sheet. They were 2-2. They were drawing. They let 2 goals in from a Burnley side managed by Scott Parker. Manchester United are not a good team. We already know that they are not a good team. They possibly can be a good team. They have aspirations to be a good team, but at this moment, they are not a good team. And pound for pound, they might actually be the worst football team ever. At least last season they were. This season, we are yet to see it, but nothing suggests that anything has improved. For example, Spurs finished 17th last season. That's a horrible season for Spurs. It's on par with the season Manchester United had. But this season, Spurs have had a flying start. They won 2 out of their 3 games and they're playing beautiful football. They have sacked their previous manager that got them 17th, rightfully so. They had a strong finish to last season by winning the Europa League as well, but they didn't let that overshadow the fact that they had a horrible league season and did sack their manager Ange Postecoglou. Now, Manchester United lost that Europa League final. They finished 15th, yet they didn't sack Amorim, they gave him more money to spend. Now it's debatable if that was the right decision or not, but let's talk about the players that Amorim did sign this summer. Cunha and Mbeumo are decent signings, but I believe those were not the signings that Manchester United needed desperately. Probably one of them, yes, but what they really needed was a midfielder. A midfielder that could control games. A midfielder like Baleba from Brighton. They didn't get him. They were never going to get him this season, even though they should have spent most of their money getting him. And secondly, and most importantly, they needed a goalkeeper. Onana and Bayandir are the worst number 1, number 2 combination in the history of world football. There, I've said it. Onana is the worst goalkeeper for the price they paid for him I've ever seen. Forget the price, he actually is the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen in my life. That guy can't save a Word document. He can't catch a cold. He can't do anything a footballer can. He's not a footballer. I have no idea what he is. His level is not even the 4th tier of English football. He was horrible against Grimsby. He's probably National League level. And Manchester United have not properly replaced him. They've not gotten a decent enough goalkeeper to be challenging for the European spots. Yes, they have signed a new goalkeeper, Sean Lemans, from Belgium, but he's a panic buy. He's probably going to be in a lot of pressure and the fans are not going to help him. So that was Manchester United's transfer window. In my opinion, that's a horrible transfer window. This team needed a massive overhaul, not 3 players. They finished 15th last season, not 2nd. They needed a new squad that could play Amorim's system. Instead, they got 3 new players, good attacking players, and they still have the squad which finished 15th last season and nothing really has changed to make me believe that they'll be much better. Instead, they've lost some players which were key to them getting 16th in the first place, like Garnacho. Oh, I absolutely forgot about Sesko. But let me tell you something about Sesko. If a player doesn't want to take a penalty against Grimsby Town, you should be scared. He's probably not the guy you want to trust to be your goal scorer. Is Sesko better than Hoyland? You know what? I actually don't think he's that better than Hoyland. And you guys hated Hoyland. Manchester United absolutely hated Hoyland. They tolerate Xerxes, but they hated Hoyland. And I truly believe that Sesko is pretty similar to Hoyland. He's probably a bit more technical, but he doesn't have the skin in front of goal, at least yet in his career. He's still a developing player. And Manchester United, as I said, don't need developing players. They need players which are already ready to be going and challenging for the highest level of trophies. Now let's take a look at the next 10 fixtures that Manchester United have. Let's see where I believe they will finish in the table after 13 games. They play Manchester City after the international break. They're not winning against Manchester City. This Manchester City team is wounded and they would want a comeback. So I believe Manchester City is defeating Manchester United. Next, they play Chelsea. Chelsea is a very good team. Manchester United is not defeating Chelsea. Then Brentford. Manchester United is defeating Brentford. Brentford, the squad is absolutely demolished. The manager is gone. Nobody cares about them. Brentford is done. Manchester United is defeating Brentford. Sunderland. Manchester United will lose to Sunderland. Sunderland is a good team. And this is going to be a shock. And you know what? A team which loses to Grimsby, they can lose to Sunderland. Obviously, they can lose to Sunderland. Manchester United is losing to Sunderland and probably Amorim is going to get sacked after that. Liverpool, 8-0. Manchester United is going to lose 8-0 against Liverpool. Isak with 4 goals. They're losing that so badly. Manchester United will lose to Brighton as well. Probably a draw. But I think they'll lose. Then Nottingham Forest, Manchester United might defeat Nottingham Forest. Tottenham, they always lose to Tottenham. So there goes another 3 points. Everton, maybe a draw, maybe a win. It's 50-50, 33.3% for each possibility. But you know what? Draw is the safest bet. I don't see them winning against Everton. This new rejuvenated Everton, Manchester United probably will face a very hard time playing them. They'll win against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is kind of done after losing Eze and okay, yeah, they still have Gay. Probably a draw then. Crystal Palace is back in the game. No, I think so. Manchester United will defeat Crystal Palace. So you pick up 3 points against Brentford. You pick up a point against Brighton. Another 3 points against Forest. And probably 3 points against Crystal Palace. So that's 9, 10 points you get in the next 10 games. Okay, that is relegation form. If you guys really believe Manchester United will do better than what I predicted just now, you can write that down in the comments. But I truly believe Manchester United can get relegated in this season. And it will take one of the greatest comeback by a sleeping giant for Manchester United to make any waves in this season. And that's the video.